whoever lines up on Makai Lemon, whether it's Zeke Berry or Jair Hill or however Wink wants to structure this, can you keep up with him? And I have my doubts.
So let's talk a little bit about this USC game, because this is one, even back into the preseason,
ooh, buddy. Yeah,
we both were really excited about, because you're traveling on the road. You're going West Coast here,
where Michigan has not had a lot of success.
Yeah. What's your initial thought? And you guys avoided the night game, at least on their end.
Yeah. So Michigan, and I did not realize this, has not played at USC proper, meaning not a Rose Bowl game.
Mm-hmm.
Michigan has not played at USC since 1957. That's insane. What
was the score of that game?
I have no idea. I don't know.
Wow.
I didn't get that
so
far.
You looked all that up.
Yeah. I know that they've played them in 7 Rose Bowls since then and lost all but 1, which is not encouraging to me at all. So their last win over USC away from Ann Arbor was 1988. Now, they've only played 3 since then, 89, 03, and 06, but they did lose all of those Rose Bowls to USC. Yeah, so this is a fascinating game and probably would have, fascinating game, probably would have more national luster if USC had not gone beat by Illinois, right? I mean, if USC was top 20, Michigan is I think now ranked 15th in the AP poll, would probably have more national attention. That doesn't, the rankings don't matter a lick.
No.
These are 2 different styles of football teams, but 2 very
feels similar
even.
to the Ohio State-Washington game, where Washington came into that game unranked, but you look at this team and go, this is a really good football team.
Yeah, and again, hindsight's 2020, because I obviously thought Washington would win that game. Hindsight's 2020. This feels like 2 very even football teams. I mean, the spread opened at 1.5.
Yeah.
I mean, that and that may have even moved since I last looked.
I forget what I saw that this morning. I double checked and then forgot all of it.
So what's tricky about this USC team is it's hard to tell what's real and what's not. Like with a lot of football teams at this point in the season, you can tell what was fool's gold and what's like actual like bona fide. Okay, this is worth something. USC is kind of hard to tell. So let's start with the defense, right? This USC defense is absolutely susceptible, right? They gave up 300 passing yards to Purdue. I would hazard a guess that Michigan's offense is better than Purdue's. But this kind of comes back to one of the issues that I had in the Wisconsin game and that Michigan has had this year, which is Michigan's receivers have to take advantage of the opportunities they're going to be given, right? So Samaj Morgan is wide open and the ball hits you in the hands. Son, you better catch the ball. Right? You cannot play a half of football where you continue to drop wide open passes. But the defense is susceptible in the passing game and in the run game. That's where Michigan's going to excel, right? I mean, Justice Haynes should have a big highlight around him because he's going to control a lot of the outcome of this football game. If you can go on some Michigan-esque drives and wear down an already somewhat inept defense, hold the ball for 6.5 minutes. I mean, that's Michigan branded football, right? That's Big Ten, big boy football. That's how Michigan wins a game like this. You should be able to pass on this team, much like you passed on Wisconsin. But if you play with your food, and not that USC is playing with the food, but you get my point. If you goof around for a half, you may find yourself in so much of a hole that you can't climb out of it. On the offensive side, and this is where I just go, I'm trying to determine what's legitimate and what's not, because the defenses USC have played have not been good. They've played Purdue. They've played Illinois. I think they played Georgia Southern in there. Like, these are not great. They played Michigan State. These are not good defenses.
Yeah.
And yet I happen to believe that this offense is one of the best in the country.
Because it's still hard. Like, your point's not wrong, but also you got to take it with a little bit of salt, because it's hard to put up 500 plus yards per game.
And they're doing it consistently.
Right now, I think they're doing 565 is what I had them at.
And so that's where I would say there's something to that. Like the idea that, the USC offense is just good because they're playing bad defenses. Yeah, maybe it's inflated a little bit. That's legit. Jayden Maiava is one of the best quarterbacks in the country. Makai Lemon is one of, if not, and I know Jeremiah Smith is one of, if not the best wide receiver in the country.
He is not the best, but he is one of them.
And frankly, I don't know that he's getting the national attention, but Waymon Jordan at running back
Stud.
is fantastic. And so, what does the Michigan defense do with that? When life gives you lemons, what do you do? Maybe bracket off the lemon so they can't. Maybe bracket off the lemon and make someone else beat you. Yeah. I don't know. And they've got some other guys like Jacoby Lane, but I mean,
you really missed the chance to say throw in a Berry and talk about Zeke Berry there. I just want you to know.
No, I let's say that I was aware of it and decide not to do that.
Sure.
So that's the USC side of the ball is the defense. The defense is definitely susceptible. The offense is very legitimate. And so on the Michigan side, Michigan's offense, I think, is good. I don't think they're great yet. I think they could be. I think they're good. Justice Haynes, Jordan Marshall, I think those running backs should have success against this defense. The receiving core will have, I'll put it this way, they will have opportunities to pass the ball on this team, right? But my concern is if we've got this hot and cold receiving thing going on again, when you've got an offense like that staring across from you, I mean, how many drives has Michigan had killed this year because guys are just dropping balls? I'm not talking about bad passes from Bryce. Yeah, that happens. Mm-hmm. I'm talking about balls that are thrown right to guys and they drop them. And it either ends a drive or puts you way behind the sticks, and now you're looking at second or third and long. When you've got Jayden Maiava standing across on the other sideline and you're giving him free possessions, maybe not free possessions, but you're going, this hot and cold feast or famine Michigan drive thing where it's either we score a touchdown or we go 3 and out. If you're giving him a bunch of extra possessions, that doesn't bode well for you. Mm-hmm. On the defensive side of the ball, and I think this is where I am most interested, and maybe that's not maybe that's a pretty normal thing. Maybe this is the matchup that everyone's watching for. I am most interested in that USC offense against the Michigan defense because I think the Michigan linebackers, the Michigan defensive line, I think are really good. The secondary concerns me still. I think they've been fine, but I don't think they've been great. They are going to have to be great on Saturday. Now, I do think that dynamic shifts with Rod Moore coming back. Rod Moore, by the way, getting that interception. Let's ignore the fact that Jair Hill interfered with a receiver, but Rod Moore getting that interception. I mean, rivalries aside, how can you not be happy for that kid?
Very easy
to fight back from that injury, to overcome all of that, to get the interception, get back on the field. I mean, that's just good stuff right there. Rod Moore being back on the field does change the feel of that Michigan secondary. My question's going to still be, though, whoever lines up on Mekhi Lemon, whether it's Zeke Berry or Jair Hill or however Wink wants to structure this, can you keep up with him? And I have my doubts. I'm not making the prediction yet, but I'm just telling you I have my doubts. I want to hear you summarize this game. I want to hear your prediction, and then I'll give you mine.
Well, that's a first, but I will go ahead and take that.
Okay.
I think there's one big thing that you missed in this when you were giving your kind of preview for this. And while USC's defense as a whole is atrocious, there is one bright spot to that defense that you missed. Right now, they rank top 10 in the nation in sacks. I think they have 17, maybe it's 19 on the season. The one thing that defense does well is gets to the quarterback. One key piece to this Michigan offense where I think you've seen some major flaws, especially in Bryce Underwood, is in big games on the road. I look at the Oklahoma game. I look at the Nebraska game. His 2 worst performances, both of those games, he had very underwhelming performances in my mind. The Oklahoma game, as we all saw, one of the big reasons that he struggled in that is because of the defensive line for Oklahoma. So I think that's going to be really interesting to see how effective is that D-line going to be at getting to him, making him uncomfortable. And given his track record so far in big games on the road, he's just not played well. So I have major concerns there where that's the stuff that I'm going to be watching is, can this be a game where he actually goes out and performs like he has at home, like the second half of Wisconsin, or is he going to continue to struggle? Can USC's defensive line get to him early, get to him often? They don't have to get the sack, but they need to make him uncomfortable.
See, and I don't know that I agree with you about the Nebraska game. Because the passing yard stat line wasn't phenomenal, but also Michigan ran for what? 250 yards on the ground there. And Bryce also used his legs a ton.
He had the one for 40 yards, which was great, but the rest of that was carried by Justice Haynes and Marshall.
But my point being though that you didn't have to throw the ball like crazy, and he was effective on the ground. And him being effective on the ground opens up everything else too.
But my point is, if you're gonna go that direction, then you're gonna have to get into a shootout to beat this USC team. And I think at that point you're gonna have to throw the ball. And so, like later on in this, one of the things that I had is the same thing you've seen all season with Michigan. Justice Haynes is going to be heavily relied on. Mm-hmm. He has been the MVP of your entire team all season long. Yeah. Time and time again, when you need a big run, a big play, your offense is struggling. Who's the one that comes out on top? I texted you this weekend. He's been your Khalil Mullins this season, where early last year, that guy carried your team on his back.
Against USC. Yeah. USC. Literally against USC.
So I'm looking at that and I'm going, okay, if I'm looking at how this Michigan team has performed so far this year, where on the road in big games, I've seen Underwood struggle. And the Nebraska game was a good point because, he made some plays on his legs, but I don't think that's going to be enough. I think you're going to have success through the air against USC. That's not going to have to be the dominant part of your game, but you're going to have to be somewhat more successful than you were against Nebraska.
Do you think so? You're to summarize here, you're saying that you think that USC will create enough chaos for him that he's not able to be effective through the air?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I don't
agree with you, but that's okay.
And that's fine. I wouldn't expect you to. USC's offense, I think, is legit. I think it's going to be obviously one of the biggest tests Michigan's defense has to face. And it's on the road, which I think helps tremendously for them.
That does. Hit me with your score.
I've got Michigan 24, USC 35.
When you started with Michigan, I really thought you were going to take Michigan.
Never. I would
35-24 for USC. Yeah, well, I'll tell you this. I'll give you my prediction. I'll tell you that I flip-flopped on this because I could see this going a couple different ways, right? I could see Michigan's defense being stout enough to keep. Michigan's defense is going to keep them in any football game that they play. But I could see them being stout enough to give the offense, even if they have some of those 3-and-out issues or some drops. I could see them giving the offense enough opportunities. I could also see USC's offense just absolutely skyrocket and take off. So here's what I expect. Offensively for Michigan, I expect the game plan that we've been seeing from Chip Lindsey, which I think has been very good. I expect that to continue. McCauley and Marsh going to continue to feature more heavily in the passing game. I think Haynes creates chunk plays. I do think Bryce will be effective passing the ball, and I do think with his legs, I think he can burn him a few times. Defensively, I am concerned about covering guys like Mekhi Lemon.
As you should be.
Now, I will say this too. Last year, understandably so, I was very concerned in the Ohio State game about how in the world are we going to cover Jeremiah Smith? And they did. To their credit, they did. The problem is that USC, unlike Ohio State last year, also has a functional run game. I think Waymon Jordan is highly underrated. And here's what makes USC dangerous is that they can beat you over the top. They can run play action and hand it off. They can also run the screen really effectively. They've got a lot of speed. And Michigan doesn't have Mason Graham or Kenneth Grant. And so I'm fearful that the run may prove as potent as the pass for USC. And at some point, do you end up with too many weapons to keep track of? So here we go. I think Michigan's offense is talented enough. I think USC's defense is porous enough for Michigan to put up points. I think USC's offense is the real deal. Here's what's going to make the difference for me. I think you've got a case of great versus good and good versus bad. Here's what I mean. I think you've got a great USC offense against a good Michigan defense. I think that favors USC, and I think USC will put up some points. On the other side, though, I think you have a good, not great, but a good Michigan offense against a mediocre to bad USC defense. And so if I'm looking at great versus good and good versus bad, I'm probably going to take Michigan. I would probably have a more balanced, hey, our offense isn't elite, but our offense is good and our defense is good.
So what's your prediction?
Versus we've got an elite offense and we can't stop anybody. Give me Michigan 31, USC 28 in a game that will take 10 years off my life.
Is it ending with a Zvada boom?
I don't know. I haven't gone that far.
How poetic after he missed, what, like a 27-yarder this?
Well, you know why, though, right? They completely botched the snap.
Oh, I did not see that, no.
So I didn't catch, again, live, just because my angle, I didn't catch it. I just went, how in the world did he, because I'm expecting, it's automatic from there. But no, go back and watch the kick. They dropped the snap. Or the snap was bad. They dropped the
trouble
hold,
with
whatever.
the snap at home against Michigan. Who
that would
thunk?
never happen. So that one's not on him. No, I've got 31-28. I think this game is going to be this should be a phenomenal football game. I really do. And I flip-flopped. I had, when I was first going over my notes for this podcast, I had USC. I buy the Michigan defense enough. I buy the Michigan defense enough to get Michigan the win. 31-28. And again, get the antacid tablets ready, man, because this is not going to be fun.
You will not sit down for a second of that game, and I love it.
I will pace. I'm going to have to put on like my Strava or whatever and just see how many miles I walk in the living room during the course of this game. The Rivalry Podcast is part of the Varsity Network from Learfield and the River Podcast Network from River Radio Ministries.
New episodes out every Monday.
Be sure to subscribe, rate, and review wherever you're listening right now, and follow on social media at RivalPod and RivalPod.com.
And if you like what you hear, share with a friend so they can listen too.